This here is a perfectly fine cabbage. This is a cabbage that was underneath material and looks like absolute garbage and has a whole bunch of caterpillar poop inside of it. So, what's the difference between the two? What was used on that one that was not used on this one? And what exactly can you do about the absolutely wonderful, precious butterflies called cabbage moths? So, the reality here is that the damage doesn't start when you see the caterpillars. The damage is beginning when you see those little white butterflies. Those white butterflies are what we call cabbage moths, and they are kind of scouting out good places to lay eggs. Give it a few more days, and you end up with these little tiny green worms. And if you wait until you see holes, they've already had several good days of munching on your plants. And sometimes, depending on what type of person you are, that is much too late to even salvage the plant. So I think the obvious solution here is row cover. But my row cover was in an immense amount of crazy winds. Welcome to Saskatchewan. Hail, you name it. And therefore, it was quite heavily damaged. And before I fully noticed that it was damaged, there was cabbage moss getting in underneath this curtain. And I wasn't really watching this space the way that I was watching that really healthy cabbage plant, the really healthy cabbage plant that wasn't covered. I was watching like crazy because I knew it wasn't covered and therefore cabbage moss could become an issue. So I was very cognizant of watching it. This guy, I kind of thought, set it and forget it, it's good to go, ended up being my nemesis, which is why if you are seeing moths in any capacity in your garden, you want to be checking your plants, whether they're under row cover or not. Yes, row cover is great for preventing those critters to getting to that plant. It doesn't have to be row cover. I've seen people use pantyhose, for example. I've seen a number of different mechanisms that just as long as it's some sort of physical barrier that keeps those moths away from those cabbage leaves. Now, if you're beginning to see them because the prevention method did not work, and truly your only prevention method is a mechanical method of just making sure that there's no way for those adult moths to get to your plant. If you've missed that step, and you already have an infestation, here's what you can do. Honest to God, it all works if you do it to help keep the cabbage healthy. So option number one is going to be hand picking. I know it's the least exciting version of this, but it ultimately does work if the infestation is not that big. What you want to do is look at the bottom sides of the leaves, the upper sides of the leaves, kind of dig in anywhere you possibly can to actually find these critters and physically remove them. So option number two is BTK. So BTK, if you do not know what this is a biological control. It is a Bacillus thuringiensis subspecies Christa, which is BTK, each beginning letter to what it is, and it's bacteria. So this, because it is completely organic, meaning it is a bacteria, it is something that's living, what you do is you spray it onto the leaves. Now, what's nice about this is that it is not necessarily a contact pesticide. It is a biological pesticide that needs to be on the leaves. And when the leaves are eaten, the bacteria is ingested and the bacteria upsets the stomachs of the caterpillars. Now, larger caterpillars tend to live through this and it doesn't necessarily do as much damage to them. Baby caterpillars, it does do more damage to them. So if you did not know, the more adult, that is a giant bumblebee. Holy macaroni. Your fat ass isn't even going to fit inside that flower. And that's a squash flower. I don't even know what that was. That's a wasp. And it literally has a piece of plant in it. So do they eat plants? I didn't even know they ate plants. That's really weird. Anyways, so BTK upsets the stomachs of the smaller guys better than it upsets the stomachs of the larger guys, which means that the undersides of the leaves is where the baby caterpillars tend to feast. The upside of the leaves or the top of the leaves is where the adults tend to feed. So if we really want to do some damage, we want to spray it all over the plant. We particularly want to focus on the bottoms of the leaves where those babies are because this bacteria upsets their tummies. Now, if there's a very heavy rain, you do need to reapply because it's going to wash away the bacteria. And that is what we need on the plant in order for this to work. Because this is alive, we want to be careful with where we store it. We don't want to store it in the sun. We don't want to store it in somewhere really hot. We want this, typically speaking, to be stored indoors at room temperature, that sort of thing, because it is alive. We don't want to kill it. Number two is Dr. Doom. Now, I've had this container for a minute. As you can probably tell, I don't use it very often. I actually bought it for a video and haven't really used it since. I did use it on these kind of problem plants here, and it worked because it does work, generally speaking. But the reason I used it is also because it is a covered area. This is a pesticide, an insecticide, if you will. Permethrin is the active ingredient and the only ingredient inside of this. Follow the instructions, depending on what you want to take out, will determine how much of this concentration you need by water. But this does and will kill those beneficials off. So you can't use them coinciding. And it also will kill any sort of beneficial insects. So if you've got a lot of bees and that, you don't want to spray it on any of their stuff, preferably only a covered space. And this is great under duress, if you will. If you've got like an extreme infestation you're trying to take care of, then absolutely give that stuff a shot because it will work over that BTK and it will work quickly. So if you need to just quickly get things under control, use that and then come in a few days later, maybe after you wash the leaves off, that sort of thing, with that BTK, and you should have that real infestation taken down a notch. So the key takeaways here is you want to act once you see those butterflies appearing, come in with that BTK. Because if you see butterflies, it means they've already laid eggs, and within the next few days, you're going to have very small caterpillars, some you may not even be able to see, and that BTK will upset their stomachs and ultimately take them out. You can use the BTK, and actually heavily endorse using the BTK in conjunction with a mechanical covering of some sort, solely because those moths seem to get into anywhere at any time. So there's that. If you waited until you saw holes in the leaves and you see worms, then you may want to go in with that Dr. Doom combined with the BTK at a later date, because you need to get that infestation under control. Ultimately speaking, there is no real fix for this. There's no way to prevent them from the future. It's not like a number of other pests out there like flea beetles and that sort of thing where you can do this in the spring and it will stop them later on. These are a very mobile creature, and therefore they kind of just blow in with the winds, if you will. So unfortunately speaking, there's no real outside control. You can only prevent and then act once it is there. There's no real stopping it all at the beginning of its life stage. It's just not possible. Now, with that being said, this is what Google says you should watch next, Geek Crew. And that is my video on why my plants look like this. They got hit with vapor, pesticide vapor specifically, not sprayed in my yard. So we'll talk about pesticide drift in that video right there. I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.